back, everyone, to this week's episode of Booking and Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where today we're talking NWA Saturday Night on TBS from November the 18th of 1989. I am sitting here with Doc, and not Hardbody Harper. Harper supposed to be here. Now he's not answering his text, so hey, the show must go on, and I'm guessing he's going to join us at some point when he's done plowing or dumping or whatever many things that he does before he joins the show each and every week. On that note, Doc, I should throw to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, but don't you think maybe Harper's cutting one of those videos that we keep hearing about?
How Tremendous was the one.
Just amazing. And here's the real thing that I was surprised about. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Harper has his own, what's the platform called?
I'm not going to call it the platform. There's a platform out there that many of stars are on. That platform would not respond to Harper and I. Thus, we took matters into our own hands. Harper created his own video shout out service, and there's no middleman. And if you'd like a shout out from Harper, you can holler at him. Check the notes. Let
me tell you something. The people know that I tell it straight. And if he sucked, and boy, we've tried some things with Harper before, Harper's life advice. When you give Harper too much direction, sometimes it doesn't work out like you want it to. So I was a little concerned when he was going to, do these videos, because most of his great memorable moments come out of thin air.
Yes.
But I can't put this over enough. He was fantastic in the two videos that you shared with me. I mean, if you're considering you want some personal interaction with Harper, he was great in those videos. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
If we could bottle that, we'd probably get some sponsors.
The one with him on the toilet was phenomenal. And I think that was the first one that someone contacted him about. And that's the first one he did. And he's eating a sandwich, and wishing somebody happy birthday. Wishing somebody happy birthday while he's taking a dump and eating a sandwich. It's phenomenal. There's another one. He's playing the piano. He tells the guy at the end who's getting married, although he congratulated him to smarten up, and he's telling her not to don't get married. It's really good stuff. But again, check the show description. Harper's email is there. I'll say it real quick again, but you got to get one of these Harper shoutouts. If you want one, first thing you got to do is PayPal him $20 to CC30388. That's the number 8, cc@yahoo.com. And then you email him to chrisharper16, wildcat with a K @gmail.com, and he will do a shout out for you.
And the best thing is,
tremendous stuff.
Our boy Harper gets all the money. You don't have to share it with some skeevy company. I don't know if they're skeevy, but it all goes to him. Now, You asked me how I was doing. We're recording a night later than we normally do. Because I just got back from my big, remember I said I was going to Colorado. So I want to make a big announcement here, because I know a lot of people were wondering maybe where I was. I want to narrow it down for everybody so that you can figure out where I was. I was in the mountains. How about that? Colorado in the mountains. That's like half the state. But
drinking White Claws.
Or I don't drink White Claws.
Okay. You were raving about them last year.
Well, I mean, it was the pandemic. You had to do what you had to do, right? It's kind of like prison. It's not gay in prison.
What?
Haven't you watched enough?
You just say stupid stuff sometimes.
No, it's like in The Sopranos. It's not gay when you do it in prison.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. I remember that moment from The Sopranos, but please proceed.
I'm not just making shit up on the fly here. We're talking about real things. I just got back from my big vacation. I drove 800 miles yesterday, 795 miles.
Nice.
Yeah, I felt like a Mid-South wrestler, man.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I wasn't, drinking beer the whole time, and, I
got to throw something at you. And once you're done talking about this, I want to tell you something that you don't.
Well, here's the thing, pal. I got back home to find out that your shack in the ghetto was nearly destroyed by some storms this week. Are you okay?
It wasn't destroyed. I didn't post about it on social media, but my neighbor's trampoline was lifted up in a very bad windstorm and rainstorm a few days ago. Landed in my yard, but before it landed, did some damage to my roof on the corner of my house, and took down some gutters.
See, you're not a real. This is why you never made it in wrestling. This is why you never made it in wrestling. A real wrestler would have taken a picture of somebody else's house and posted a GoFundMe and made some money off this shit.
I can't do that, man. Let me tell you something. People that abuse GoFundMe are going to hell.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, there's with the lack of healthcare in this, there's real deserving people that need GoFundMe. Yeah. And then you'll see somebody else that's like, I want to start a fourth career. Please help me get into.
Dude, the people that abuse, seriously, if you abuse GoFundMe, you're going to hell. I ain't trying to judge you, but that's just
not a good look.
It's just wrong. Hey, I've been dying to talk to you this week for one reason alone.
I'm sure you have.
I went down a rabbit hole of 1987 World Class over the weekend last week.
Okay.
If I told you the Iron Sheik comes into World Class towards the end of 87, mid 87, what would you say? Do you even recall that?
Oh, no. No. I wasn't watching by then.
Sheik is in World Class.
How'd he look?
Hey, Sheik, I fuck the broads. I bang up the ass. I do everything.
World Class, though.
How did he look? Well, it's 87. He doesn't have quite the gut he's got when he comes into not Crockett, but NWA and Turner. But, I mean, he looks good. It's just, dude, 87, and I didn't remember it, and I was watching World Class at that time. Lance and I had this discussion. We're not reviewing 87. We're still at the beginning of 86 right now. But Lance and I talked to him this week, and we were talking about it. He remembers it because he was going. But, it's just some crazy stuff. They do a bunch of shows at the Mesquite Rodeo Arena in 87. When Sean Simpson comes in, Steve Simpson's brother.
I remember all that. That was
So anyway, just long story short, man, it's not terrible, but it's different.
But here's the thing. It's not terrible probably if you're just watching it in a vacuum. But if you've seen what's happened in the last few years and now this is what you're viewing, it's a real problem.
Well, and here's the last thing I told Lance, because then I've also gone on, like, again, went down this rabbit hole. I was like, oh, let me fast forward and let me go into 88. 88 is amazing because 88 is, they bring back the Bird, Iceman, and...
Is that when he becomes Blackbird?
Yeah. So it starts cooking back up in January 88. Like in 87 at the end, the crowds are dying. Oh my God. It's pathetic. 87 Christmas Star Wars had like 2,200 people in a reunion. So it was like, that building held 17,007 people for a basketball game. I know. So in 88, in the beginning of 88, it's like, okay, man, they're cooking it back up. It's something's happening here. But what I told Lance to go back to 87, I said, Lance, 87 World Class is only 4 years. Like, let's just go to June. Let's go to July of 87. Just pick a point. I said, if you look at July of 87 and then you looked at July of 1983, I said, that's a 4-year difference, but it feels like 20.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Let me turn this back on you. What was the best, in your opinion, the best month-ish, you don't have to pick the exact month, but month range and year of Mid-South?
Well, that's hard to say because Cornette comes in at the end of 83 and 84 is a big year because of that. And not just Cornette. I say Cornette. You had Cornette, the Midnight, Rock and Roll. You had Magnum TA and
let's
Mr.
just say
Wrestling
that that's good enough for our purposes of this discussion. What's 88 like?
Well, the 88's nothing because they sell in 87.
Exactly.
But
from their hottest point, they didn't make it 4 years.
Well, no. Well, here I got a better one for you. So 84, when everything's hot, and then by the time you get to 87, when the UWF is on fumes and he sells to Crockett, it's a big difference, but it doesn't feel like as big of a difference from 83 World Class to 87. 83 to 87 World Class, I swear, Doc, if you just pick a random episode from 83, go to the summer of 83. I mean, the Freebirds.
I'm fully aware.
And then pick up
That's some of the hottest wrestling you will ever. I'm not saying best necessarily, but crowd engagement, angles. I mean, it's operating. It's firing on all cylinders.
So then go to 87 summer, a little bit later, and turn it on, and it just looks like
everybody's been to a bunch of funerals over the past 6 months.
Well, yeah, and then it's just a weird thing. Another thing that's weird. So Kerry wins the belt in '84 at the David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions. So then, by '87, they got their own world title. Actually, they make the announcement in March of '86. We just hit that point.
Was Rick Rude the first guy, or?
Yes, Rude's the first. Rude is the first WCWA, World Class Wrestling Association world champion. But the thing is, so Kerry ends up winning the quote unquote, or Kevin does too at one point, the quote unquote world title. And they're at this Texas Stadium show, and you look and it's like, wow, Kerry's wrestling, and just 3 years earlier, he's in front of 50,000 people, and now it's this. And it's funny because World Class is trying to sell it that this is the real world champion. And it's kind of depressing because you and I know the history. And it's like, oh, that sucks. It's just like a downer. It'll depress you, man.
They could have, my opinion has always been, they could have survived David, but Mike was a problem when he died. Because Mike was terrible, but it was like David's was a tragedy. Mike's was self-induced, and the people aren't forgiving in this part of the world on that kind of shit.
Well, it's not just that, man. There is a combination. You had the deaths, but I firmly believe every territory is going to die because everything was going national. And the problem with World Class was they were just stuck in Texas. I mean, in 80, don't get me wrong, in late 87, they're doing something called Von Erichs Across America, where they're going to like different other, like traveling to other states and whatnot. But it was too late by that point. They should have pushed national well before that.
Here's a hypothetical that we've never talked about. And I don't know that I've ever heard this. I don't even know if it's a good idea, because I think they actually got sideways with each other. But again, when you're in a war, maybe we need to be friends. What if Watts and Fritz would have partnered up to hold off Vince and had somebody young to teach them about what they needed to do? Because the World Class was pushing the envelope of TV production. Just, I don't know.
They missed. In the words of Bill Mercer, Fritz Von Erich thought Texas was enough for his boys. And there was talk about going on the road, truly going on the road, not just Texas, like actually going places like the WWF did. They would have had to do that in 83, 84, and they didn't.
But what if Watts and Fritz worked together?
Then again, two alpha males, no. And them old bastards weren't going to listen to some young dude trying to tell them what to do. It just, I couldn't. No, it wouldn't have worked. It just wouldn't have worked.
So I heard
they missed the boat. The biggest problem, they missed the. Not talking about Watts, because he ended up going national and it didn't work out. Obviously, we know what happened there. To me, World Class missed the boat, not going or not spreading their wings in that 83-ish time frame, 84, especially 84. I mean, they just missed the boat, man. I mean, I understand why they didn't do it, but it's that would have did it. But look, at the end of the day, I'm not one of those people who subscribe to the deaths killed World Class, because every territory ended up dying. Every single one of them died. So you can't pin it on that. Did it help the promotion? No, it certainly didn't help it. But I'm not one of those people who blame it on that. And I just watched actually the Fritz Von Erich heart attack angle again. That didn't even kill it. There was only 2,000 people there that night. So they were already gone. They weren't coming at that point. The sportatorium was not empty, but it wasn't packed. in Reunion that night only had 2,000 people. So I don't know, man. It's no. So I can't put it on that.
I'm gonna switch gears, and we haven't talked about this either. But I was listening to a certain podcast today. Guy who's an announcer wears a black cowboy hat. And he hopped all over a listener for asking a question. And I could certainly understand wanting to hop on a listener and just read them the riot act. That's a given.
That's what you do, right? That's what you want to do?
But my point is, he was mad because the person asked, who is the worst person to deal with behind the scenes? And he goes, that's easy. Ultimate Warrior. But why is it always negative? Why do we always have to dig up the bad parts? Why do we always have to blah, blah, blah? And I said, that's a fair question. But I have an answer of why I think that is that he isn't going to like.
Okay.
Because salacious stories about the past or the backstage stuff is way better than the shit they're putting out on TV. And if they actually had a compelling product on television, maybe the questions would be about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one day, this current product, there will be stories that come out about stuff.
Kind of like Paige.
I mean, not even that. Just, I tell you one thing that kills me about AEW. Whenever you listen to AEW guys talk, like the talent there, they talk like everybody sings Kumbaya and everybody's friends and we all love each other. And
let money start getting tight around the promotion.
Not even that. You tell me a job, any job, and I'm telling y'all, as somebody who's been in mud show locker rooms, you tell me a job, any job, where everybody gets along and everybody's singing Kumbaya, and I'm going to tell you that you're lying. And I hear that coming out of that locker room, like I hear people on different podcasts, don't want to mention names, because, again, I don't know these people personally, but I hear them go, oh, it's so great, and Tony does this, and Tony Khan, and it's a family, and it's this and this. Hey, you know what? I'm sure there are a lot of great people in those locker rooms. But you can't tell me in a business that is full of egos, big egos, because that's what pro wrestling is. There's a lot of egos. That all of those guys and girls and ladies are getting along, and they're all singing Kumbaya, and they all love each other. Because that's just not how it works. It does not work that way in the business of pro wrestling. I don't care if it's the independents all the way up to the big time, the WWE.
Well,
it just doesn't work that way.
Here's the other thing. I don't care how much that promotion in AEW thinks that they're Mid-South or ECW or whatever it is from the yesteryear. They remind me of a yesteryear promotion for sure. Russo WCW era. I can't follow what's going on that TV program.
I don't watch it closely enough. I see the clips, and that's about it. But I watched Raw this week and the Hurt Business and
what? Well, those brothers are the only thing that.
Well, fast forward is a great button to use so you can get to the stuff that you like. The Hurt Business are phenomenal. Phenomenal. Now they lost.
Have you posted the Clash that we just did?
Yes, the Clash aired. It aired almost a week ago tonight. It is up for patrons. tinyurl.com/patreonbtt.
Man, I drug Silver through another episode. Jesus That's Christ! Nice. But we talked about that during that show, just how the Hurt Business looks real.
Yeah, we talked a good bit about it there. Hey, Doc, so that we don't go all night here, let me handle some business.
Special shout out. I heard that you have some very special shout outs after you pitch all the things you need to pitch. Some real winners tonight.
I don't know about pitching, whatever you're talking about there, but anyway, Doc's talking about the Clash of the Champions, and we did Halloween Havoc a couple weeks ago too. The only way to get those shows is going to tinyurl.com/patreonbtt. Here's the thing. Doc and I, Harper and I, we don't have ads on this show. Literally the only thing we plug is the stuff we do. So that's our Patreon. We know.
We'd be taking money from some company on how many units that people buy, because that's how this shit works. And we all know that y'all would just hit the fast forward gimmick. So let's just cut the shit and let you don't have to do that.
That's right. And, we know none of y'all out there need dong croutons. We know you don't need, gold dip dongs. So with that said, we don't do that stuff here.
Well, I need a meal service that also comes inside. They deliver the meal inside of a mattress.
Right. That type of thing. So we don't do that. So in return, kindly ask you consider joining our Patreon at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. You'll get all the clashes we've done. You'll get the pay-per-views that we've done. Plus, there's over 200, I think there's over 300 now episodes available on Patreon for you to enjoy. On that note, I do need to shout out some special Patreon members out there, some very, very helpful Patreon members. Disrespectfully Classy, Marky Blassie, Mike Childry, Joe Ice, Jeremy Priest, thank you for your generous patronage each and every month. And I got a couple of other existing patrons and new patrons I want to shout out. David Jordan, one of our longest tenured BTT Hall of Fame Patreon members, bumped up his pledge. David is the BTT music director. Every time we talk about music on the show, he adds it to our spot. We have a Spotify playlist that David manages, and he does a great job with it.
He might be mostly a spot monkey on the Spotify, but I am the musical director here.
Well, he gets the music from you, so what are you talking about?
I'm directing, and he's the spot monkey.
Right, he adds it to the playlist, so he's doing the work.
That doesn't make him the musical director. That makes him the intern.
David Jordan, thank you for bumping up, and yes, you are the BTT music director, no matter what.
Intern.
Chris Hyatt, new Patreon member, and new BTT Hall of Fame Patreon member. Thank you, Chris, for signing up. It's greatly appreciated. Mark Wilson, one of our other longest tenured Hall of Fame Patreon members, bumped up his pledge as well. Thank you, Mark. New Patreon member, Sean Heelan. Thank you for signing up. And then 2 long-time listeners, as far back as the current wrestling days, when we used to cover current wrestling every week. The Eye of Gibson and PN News, my friends up in Canada, thank you for finally joining the ranks of the Patreon members. Y'all are all right in my book, pal, so thank you.
I thought they were from Bogota.
Kayfabe, brother, Ixnay on the Ixnay.
You Canadians, I'm a huge, and I mean this, this is a shoot, I'm a huge Tragically Hip fan. Back in the day, man, Courage and 50 Mission Cap. They were one of my favorite bands. I used to see them every time they came this way. Canadians know that shit, Mike. Trust me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Every Canadian that listens to us knows who's the Tragically Hip is. Trust me. You've never heard of them. It's a weird thing, but they're huge in Canada. I mean, huge, like still selling out hockey arenas. If they came down here, they'd sell out about 500, 600 people.
Right. Well, on that note, thank you. All of you new patrons existing, people moving over from Podbean that are still there, please move to Patreon. It's a much better service. Thank you for signing up. And if you're not signed up, you got to do it to get the goods. It's tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. There's also some special things we do for our Patreon members out there. But I don't usually plug that. I'm not going to plug it here. But let me just tell you, we'll make it worth your while. If you ever want to watch these shows we're reviewing, I'll make sure you can do that if you're a Patreon member. tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Doc, on that note, do you have any other flips and dives before we get into this week's episode that I don't know where Harper is and if he's going to be joining?
Christ, this shit must be coming out sideways.
He called me. He literally called me maybe 45 minutes before we were supposed to start. I told him what was going on. Because I had somebody looking at my property and trying to, make sure things were all fixed up.
Property. Let's don't oversell that. You live in a shack, a lean-to.
So anyway, I had, my property being looked at and whatnot, and trying to get a little fix done to it. And he said, "All right, bro, yeah, bro, I be there, bro, I be there, bro." Okay, and now he's nowhere to be found. Go figure.
Hey,
just like Harper.
This show stops for nobody.
Well, you damn right about that. The train just keeps on rolling.
Hey, you know what? If we need to call Silva up, we'll get him in here. If not, you and I can handle it. Freebird rules. I'm feeling strong. We got the titles, at least for a little bit. Maybe not at the end of the show as the Freebirds, but we're going to start the show with the titles. We can do this. I'll just switch over and I'll be extra. I'll be Harper tonight. How about that?
All right. So
one time I was at the Lake Pontchartrain, fucking some sketchy bitch, and a turtle walked up and never mind.
Turtle walked up.
Poked on the glass, asked us what the fuck we were doing.
Well, on that note, how about I get the video version started?
Real quick, for the video version, folks, could Rick Steiner have any more tobacco in his mouth?
No. That's another thing. If you're a Patreon member, you get the video versions of these. That would be a big no. I'm gonna say no. He could not have more tobacco in his mouth at this point. Jesus Lord. We're covering November 18th, 1989, NWA Saturday Night on TBS. Doc, I got the video version going now. I'm going to play, this is from the top of the show. We've got Rick and Scott Steiner, and if you notice and you're watching the video version, Rick has a mouthful of chew or dip in that lip. I mean, it is extending. It's almost like he's got two chins. Let me play it now. Yeah. Let me play it now. I'm going to play it up until about the minute and a half mark because we go to the Steiners and then Jim Ross is going to open the show. Here it is.
Last time we wrestled, you got a gift of a lifetime. Went out with Bluesy, tripped my foot. But don't think lightning's gonna strike twice today, because we guys are going down. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we got you sisters. But once was that, again, we got it for the Will Bucks. And this time, Sky tells me he don't want to walk away without the belt, and I don't want to walk away. And that goofy Robin Green, he ain't gonna be nowhere around. So this time, we're gonna win those belts, I hope.
This portion of World Championship Wrestling is brought to you in part by Three Musketeers. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jim Ross, and welcome to another exciting hour of World Championship Wrestling here on TBS, the Superstation. Today, we're going to take a special look at this past Wednesday night's Clash of Champions. So many big things happened there. We'll be taking a look at those very succinctly during the next 2 hours. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, we have some interviews from the stars that we taped right after the event that you'll be hearing their comments after what happened this past Wednesday night. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, in the next 2 hours, the big main event will be for the World Tag Team Championship. The Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott, will get their opportunity to take the Tag Team Championship of the world away from the fabulous Freebirds. That will be our main event coming along in our second hour. It'll be a big one fall with television time remaining event. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, in the hour, we're going to be hearing from Woman about what happened this past Wednesday night. As I said, all the stars will be here. I will not be joined by Jim Cornette this week, but we will hear from him. He's got a lot of explaining to do after what happened this past Wednesday night. We'll talk more about the Clash, but right now, let's go up to Rhubarb Jones.
So I'm going to say this now. There's actually a bunch of segments in this copy we have where they cut out the replays of what happened at the Clash, which is fine.
Did that?
I mean, well, you and I covered it along with Silva on the Clash.
No.
review,
I want to know who cut that out. Did we get this from Moretti?
Well, Moretti sent us this, but I mean, any tape trader could have. I don't know what tape trader.
Well, I'm real tempted to give whoever cut out all the replays the Rolex.
Well, here's the problem. I agree with you to a point. The problem I have, though, is if you heard on that review right there, or that synopsis that JR kind of gave, he said we're also going to get a promo from Jim Cornette that happened right after the event. And whoever cut out the replays, that promo that JR references also got cut from this copy.
Sometimes when you cut, you can cut too deep. And that's okay. This episode was an hour 8, and I like it.
Yeah, this is wrestling the way it used to be and the way we like it. So on that
let
note,
me also say something else. You know, there's been a big complaint. Bischoff has talked about it. The WWE has talked about it. How they couldn't get good sponsors. But, you know, in 1989, we've had A&W Root Beer. We've had Twix. We've had Western Union. We've had Spam. We've had Three Musketeers. These are reputable companies. I mean, it's not Ford and Budweiser, but they got Coors Light on the damn ring posts.
Yeah. Well, okay. So when Bischoff talks about that, though, you got to remember Bischoff's not going to be in power for a few more years, though.
I know.
He's speaking. Literally, he's speaking a different time at that point. Okay. But I hear you. I mean, they've got some decent sponsors here.
I agree. I just Three Musketeers was the shit back in the day, man. I used to eat the shit out of those.
Yeah. All right. So on that note, did you have any other thoughts on what JR had to say in the opening?
Hey, no, I was just wondering. Here's my question, because this is a good episode. We're going to talk about it, but we haven't seen Scott Hall in a while.
What's a while? I mean, it feels like it was just like 3 weeks ago.
3-4 weeks ago in a job match. It's like, once again, we're going to talk about the fact that there are some no kidding kick-ass wrestlers in this Fed with more coming in today. We got to stop treating this shit like a cartoon.
Well, good luck.
And speaking of that, let's go to the ring where we have the SST beating the piss out of Bob Emery, Lee Scott, and Mike Justice.
Yep. So we've got, like Doc said, the SST. They're going to take on Emery, Justice, and Scott. JR continues promoting Starrcade 89, which makes sense, on December 13th at the Omni. Future Shock, the night of the Iron Man, which is what they're building Starrcade into. Iron Man and Iron Team. More about that on the weeks to come.
Night of the Let's Bury the Minorities.
We'll get there. So anyway, Doc, any thoughts on this match? This was...
I got a couple of things here. Can you go back to 428 for a second? Mike Justice looked a little weird here, and he should have got his ass whooped for it. When he comes in the ring.
Oh, when he does that forearm bullshit?
He comes in the ring like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, he did.
Watch him here.
Yeah, I don't know what that was supposed to be. He was
just
like,
kind of walked in like, okay, I'm here. What do I do?
I think he was expecting, as he came in for God, I can't even see because it's not clear. I can't even see which member
Lee
of the
Scott. He came in for Lee Scott.
No, I was gonna say whichever member of the Samoan SWAT team was originally in the ring. I think when he came in, he thought that the SST guy was just gonna, come at him and hit him.
Go to clobbering.
Yeah, and he was shocked when he didn't, so then he was kind of like in no man's land. I don't know if I want to put that on him, but I will tell you what, I did have the note you just saw right there at the 5:10 mark.
That kick?
Yeah, when
you think that kick was a receipt for that?
When Samu gets tagged in, he tattoos Justice in the mouth with a super kick.
That was great.
That was tremendous. And there's another one.
And then Lee
wasn't
Scott
as
caught
bad.
one for his troubles.
Yeah.
Man, here's the thing. Lee Scott looks like the guy who wants to be a wrestler but doesn't quite have the body, but I'll be damned if he doesn't take good bumps.
He flies around. Look, let me tell you something with Lee Scott. You can see why he's in there making guys look great. And
Rikishi just put his nuts in his face.
He put his... Dude, that was terrible. He did worse than Garvin would do on the nuts. Look at that when he kneels on him. Let me try to pause.
God, you think it smelled good down there? Jesus
Christ.
Oh,
God, it smelled bad.
There's two guys that I continually think, why didn't they do more with? One was Lee Scott. The other is Trent Knight. We'll see him later.
Bro, look at that shot. Lee Scott's sniffing balls and
Bamunda. Come on.
Come on, Ricky.
Okay, so would you rather take that or the stink face?
Neither.
Well, if you had to take one.
No, I'm not taking That's terrible. Look at his face. Oh, God. You got to be a patron to look at this stuff, man. It's just disgusting.
His face is all up in his nuts, man. It's just like it's like when you look at the continents, if they came back together to Pangea, they all fit together.
That's what it looks like.
His face fits in his nuts.
Oh, God. Here's
the only other note I had on this. And I like the SST because, look, they're savages. And here's the thing. Is Paulie a better manager than Oliver Humperdinck? The answer is yes. But not in 1989. And it makes more sense for Oliver Humperdinck to be their manager than it does Paulie. And so I like their scene. They're rough. They're tough. They're no nonsense. And I like it.
They're misused.
We've said that. We said that for the Clash deal.
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about it with them, so I don't want to beat that dead horse, but you're right on the money with that. Okay.
And my point is, and we're going to continue to draw this thread through 89 and 90, I think, is there's talent here. So when we shit on things, and believe me, we will. It's not always, this is a fine line. We're not always shitting on the talent. We're shitting on how this shit is booked. Because guess what the name of the show is?
Booking the Territory.
There you go. And so I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of badasses running around this territory right now.
A lot. We talk about it. We talked a lot about it on the Clash, I think, and we've talked about it in the previous weeks. There's a lot of talent here. Lots of talent. And there's more coming. That's what's crazy. I mean, we're not that far off from, Mean Mark Callis coming in. Definitely stuff coming. So JR throws it to a replay of the Skyscrapers versus Steiners where Doom intervened in the match. And again, like I said, whoever recorded this episode deleted the replay, which I am fine with since we just reviewed that on Patreon during our Clash.
Blessed. I'm also of the opinion on top of the tobacco. I'd like, at this point right here, to see Rick dial back the tar just a little bit.
No, I'm fine with it. It works.
Just a bit.
No, it works.
Okay.
I mean, he's going to do this throughout his career, the dog-faced gremlin. I mean, he dials it back by the time you get to 96 and whatnot, but no, he's going to do this. This is his thing, man. What Doc is talking about is, so after they show the replay, and again, you can get our class special at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Javorsky, he's an idiot. He likes to crank off to the Clash reviews. You don't have to do that, but please go consider signing up. The Steiner brothers cut a promo, and that's what Doc is talking about there, where Rick Steiner's lip
is there anything that Javorsky doesn't crank off to?
Impact. He really cranks at the Impact. I don't know what's wrong with that dude. He's got issues, man. He's got a lot of issues. Anybody who cranks the Impact is not a human being in my book. But whatever, whatever floats your boat, I guess. In any case, the Steiner brothers. This promo is meat and potatoes. Did you have any thoughts from it, Doc?
No, not at all. I mean, they got themselves a title match on TV today, and that's something.
That's right. We got a title match coming up on TV today between them and the Freebirds. So on that note. After the Steiner brothers cut a promo, we're going to hear from Woman and Doom, and let's go to that part right now.
The Steiners have made their statement. We look forward to seeing them in tag team action as they go for the gold today here on World Championship Wrestling. But I think we would be remiss if we didn't hear these comments from Woman.
Hey, I don't know who you Steiners think you are, talking about me the way you do. I've got a lot of things to say, and I got a lot of plans. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. My team here is the toughest. I pay them well, and they will do exactly as they're told. Rick Steiner, to put up with you and to spend time with you was one thing. Boy, I must have been out of my mind, but I got where I wanted to be. And nothing's going to change that. I'm doing exactly what I want. Don't worry about Doom. They'll take care of themselves. Rick Steiner, I took your heart. Next, I'm going to take your soul. I'm going to strip you of all the dignity you had. Always remember and never forget, only good girls are made of sugar and spice.
Bruh.
She seems, look, she's always, I mean, this woman, so she wakes up with no makeup and with dragon breath, and she's sexy. But she seems less sexy and more evil here, and I like it for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she definitely does. I mean, that's on point. She continues being devious.
And this is the same thing, when you watch that I said they should have done with Sonny and the Gangstas in Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, Cornette didn't agree with you when you said that. Although,
well, you know what? I'm a doctor of psychology, and he isn't.
Well, what I was going to say was, although as he said that to us the first time he was on BTT, the other side of that coin is he did say he was going to bring in Tony Atlas, and she was going to be with Tony, remember?
See, that doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, I'm a Cornette guy, so you know what? I enjoyed Smoky Mountain, and he did it. So I'll defer to him on that.
I mean, look, there's things in Smokey. We talked about it on that show that he did not do good, and I think he's actually admitted to that in so many words on some of his drive-through questions. But there's things. I mean, he flat out said the last time I was on those last 10 episodes, he was like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do?" He knew. I mean, it was shit, but hey, what you gonna do? I mean, at least I can tell you that much. He's admitted that to me. I don't remember if we were on air when he said that, but he admitted that to me.
Okay. Hey, I got excited seeing this, man. Joe
let me play it,
man.
Let me play it.
Hey, let me tell you something. It is hard to find a guy in life, not just wrestling, in life, that outkicked his coverage with the females more than this fat bastard did. Rest in peace. Doc. Rest in peace. Hey, man. He buried his face in Bonnie, whatever her name was.
Okay, let's go now. What Doc is talking about is the Joe Pedicino hotline plug, and here it is.
Never know what you're going to hear when you call the 900 hotline. On Tuesday night, it's Joe Pedicino Knows. Every night, it's $2 for the first minute, 45 cents for each additional minute. Just listen to what you can hear.
Howdy, all you simple-minded people. Monday night on the hotline, I get a chance to tell you what I think of you. Have you got the guts to listen?
As the NWA travels America, we're going to be with you every Wednesday night on the 900 hotline from the NWA, asking the questions you'd like to know the answers to.
Hey, Ricky, now all these people can call us on the 900 hotline.
I mean, I get to say whatever I want?
Only on the NWA hotline.
Parents, make sure you check with your children. Make sure you can call us.
Every night's great on the NWA hotline, but Friday night's the night to be a little weird. If you want the scoops as only I can give them, then Friday's called the Louisville Slugger with Jim Cornette on the hotline.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Ross, inviting you to join me with Late Night with Jim Ross every Saturday on the NWA Wrestling Hotline. I'll tell you how it is. No holds barred, what I can't say on television.
The NWA 900 hotline. Call it today.
A couple of things on that.
All right.
$2 for the first minute, 45 minutes for an additional minute. If you'd have, I don't know, let's say, let me do a little quick math, made a 10-minute call. That'd have been what, $7 roughly?
It's a lot of money, dude. 1980.
If the phone bill came in 1989 and there was a $7 call to that, what would your mama have said or done?
I was about to say, it wouldn't have been what she said. I would have gotten my ass whooped. Whooped. You remember what Harper said that time? I think he said Luke used to do that. Their neighbor used to like leave the friggin' cordless phone outside, and they'd call the hotline from the cordless phone.
Okay, so here's the other thing. Run that back about 10 seconds and push pause. That's fine.
All right.
It's the NWA hotline, but it's WCW. Once again, what is it? Who are we?
Goddamn, pal, you're talking about brand management now.
Well, we need to manage the brand.
I hear you.
And then it's like, can you imagine even back then what JR was going to say? Grumpy old bastard.
Leave him alone.
Maybe he wasn't so grumpy back then. I mean, his face hadn't shriveled up.
Leave JR alone. I get it, man. Like, him and Tony, like, they get on social media and they got to deal with a lot of crap. And
I wouldn't know.
Back in the day, social media wasn't a thing for obviously there was no internet, and you just didn't have all that negativity. I can tell you, man, social media, it is a beat.
Seems like
down.
A real winner. It
is a beat down. And the problem is, like, for me, I mean, obviously I don't have nowhere near the followers those guys do, but I use that to support the show, like to tweet out the show and get stuff out about the show. It's a communication. But I'll be honest, man, I hate reading mentions 90% of the time because it can be, dude, people are vicious. People are vicious. And if you are not mentally stable, that platform is a problem for you. Not you, just people in general. But go ahead.
I was taking a drink of beer when you said that.
Of course. By the way, Brian Pillman is in the ring right now with Lou Tafaloni, a.k.a. Louis Spigoli. Yep, go ahead.
So, I agree. Social media is the devil. I do think that I would do pretty well from what I hear in the Facebook group. But that's different.
Yeah, we got some weirdos in there. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'll just flat out say it.
Yeah, those are my people. Those are the dogaholics.
Oh, boy.
Did you hear in this match, JR said that he mispronounced Tafaloni at the beginning and then said, well, there's no Italians in Oklahoma.
Oh, my God, I did. He struggled. He couldn't say Lou Tafaloni, and he said, please excuse me, everybody out there. I'm from Oklahoma, and they don't have many Italians around me. Dude, he would have gotten... There would have been an outrage. Speaking of social media,
you talk about. I mean, you could have poured some. You could have poured some of his barbecue sauce on his ass because it would have been barbecued for that.
Bruh, again, we're talking about social media. The outrage on social media for that comment, where he made an honest mistake trying to say the man's name, and then he made a funny joke, or he thought he was being funny. Well, I mean, I don't care. And he said, "There's not many Italians around me in Oklahoma."
Hey, look. You can't judge people for shit that happened in the past. I mean, you can. There's some
happened in 1988.
Well, but there's some universal truths. I mean, you shouldn't lay your hand on the women. You should treat kids and animals well.
Right.
And old people. Those things are timeless. They're universal. Vocabulary changes. How we talk changes over time.
I don't even think JR didn't even sound that bad. He just made a funny joke.
I mean, if you said that today, my God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're on TV today and you were to make a statement like that, like, I mean, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Like, let's say there was a Japanese wrestler and he butchered the name and literally said, fans, I'm one of them Okies. I can't say those Japanese names right. I mean, the outrage on social media would have been crazy, and it could have been an honest mistake. That's the point I was trying to make.
So here's the
thing.
Anyway, you're waving your dong in somebody's face unwanted. That's wrong. But if we can't go out and say some of the things that we can't say, then how are we going to get over? And let me tell you this: it is clear when I watch this. Speaking of over, Pillman is over with this crowd. They're chanting, they're behind him. This went a while, and again, you've got this mix. You got this mix of him, Sting, and I'm not a big Sting fan, but let's be clear, he just won the most popular wrestler at the Clash. Luger's young-ish. Hell, Michael Hayes is young if we're going to do that. And then you got these older guys that can go. We got talent here, man.
Well, and I was going to say...
all the pieces are in place right now. And guess what? More are coming soon, like you said.
Yeah, there's talent. And what I was going to say, you're talking about this match with these two as they're working, and they're having a good match. Pillman, JR mentions... The only blemishes on Pillman's record are the losses to Luger.
Here's the other thing. Let me ask you an inside baseball question here. It's my understanding that the heel usually calls the match, but Spicoli is 18 years old. Is Pillman calling this?
Probably.
Okay.
The heel usually does call, but I mean, in a situation like this, I would think Pillman's calling it. But what I was going to say about Pillman. Keep in mind, nowadays, this is what I don't like about modern wrestling sometimes. Somebody takes a loss, all of a sudden, oh my God, they buried him. Well, Pillman has lost twice now to Luger at the last two
specials. He's as hot as he's ever been.
He's still hot. And you know why? Because he didn't lose. Like, Luger, we talked about it on both of those shows, and I won't go in depth.
Hey, this shit's like college football. How you lose is important.
Well, I was about to say, Luger survived in those matches.
We've been saying that. That's the theme on all these big shows that you non-patrons are missing, is that he's escaping.
He escaped. Pillman had him where he needed him, and Luger escaped. Now, with that said, Pillman's still on fire. He's going to win this match between he and Spicoli. Anything else from it, Doc? I said Spicoli. No. Tafaloni.
Whatever. We all know what you mean. No, this was a good little match. And here's the other thing. You can see the sparks. Spicoli looks like, 6 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. But he always kind of did. But you can see, man, he's talented for 18.
He's to go out there and work a TV match like this, and I didn't really time it. I think they went about 6 or 7 minutes. To go out there and work this match like this, he did very well considering how young he is. He bumps well. He followed Pillman well.
Look at that smile. Yeah.
We got Pillman. Your mom. We got Pillman winking in the camera. But anyway, I agree. Spicoli looked really good, and he's young, and that's, you can end up seeing why he ends up going places.
And if Pillman called this, he did a decent job with that.
Yeah. We go then to a replay of Sid versus Dr. Death. And I got to say it again, whoever's clipping these recaps off, thank you. You must be Doc's long-lost family member. That was from The Clash. After that, we go to a match. It is Sid and Dan Spivey, Skyscrapers. They're going to defeat Bill Ford and Pat Rose. We did get a Teddy Long picture-in-picture promo making fun of what they did to Dr. Death. And then JR tells us pending that a rematch is coming at some point with the Skyscrapers and the Road Warriors. I couldn't get it out.
Put down the damn Henny. Jesus
I'm not drinking no Hennessy. What do you have from that? It was very short.
Is this Sid's last match?
No.
Look at that scrap iron. Oh, one word. Scraparian.
Scraparian. Look at if you're watching on video version, it's Scraparian. No, it's not spell. It's Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
I like Bill Ford for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just like diversity of looks.
He's got that kind of hillbilly-ish, redneck-ish, Briscoes almost look, and he's not bad in the ring. He's not going to be a star, but he's a serviceable, enhancement talent.
As a kid, going back to World Class that we talked about earlier, I was always, for some reason, wasn't a fan, but fascinated by Killer Tim Brooks.
Watching something with him in World Class over the weekend. Yeah. He's still there in 87 and 88.
Jeez, I would have never thought that either. But anyway, the only other note I have from this, and I don't have a timestamp, but if you could catch the pin, I thought Sid made a real heelish pin that I thought was nice looking.
Okay, let me try to see if I can get to it. So, where he just lays down on him, and he's just got his back up against him as he lays down. 1, 2, 3, yeah.
And here's the thing: if you back that up again, I think Spivey went for the big move and realized that it was supposed to be Sid. Go back a little bit further.
Yeah, here it is, the finish.
No, but go back a little bit further because Spivey gets him. Look, before the tag, he goes to do it.
Oh yeah, and then he realized, wait, hold on.
Oops.
Yeah.
And tags in Sid, and Sid gets it.
Yeah, and Sid does it, and I see what you mean. Yep. So good stuff.
And the Skyscrapers, I don't like Spivey in the least. Man, Silva really doesn't like him.
God, Silva hates. He was ripping him. Silva doesn't like Spivey at all.
But they cut an impressive look. They're not going to be my top tag team, but if they're the third or fourth best tag team, and for all the limitations he has in the ring and the softball schedule, Sid looks like $1 million goddamn dollars.
Oh yeah. Harper always says it looks like he stepped out of a Marvel comic book, and he really does.
Here's the thing: I'm not a fan of Sid, but I think he kind of gets a bad rap, and I don't know how to put that in the right context because I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not against him, but I'm not for him either. He wasn't my favorite.
Well, here's the thing with this version of the Skyscrapers too that I always say. when you got people like Norman and that stupidity that's going on, at least with the skyscrapers, they're presented as badasses, and it's not bull crap like with Norman. So while we are not the biggest fans of the skyscrapers, and Sid was definitely Spivey. I like Sid more than Spivey. Oh, it could be 10 times worse. So like,
speaking of a lot worse, are you ready to hear the next promo?
Yes. Let me. So, first off, JR throws us to a replay of Corny turning on the dudes from the Clash. If you want to hear more about it, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT, where we review it. Again, the footage we have is edited out. Let's go now to what Doc is talking about here, where, let me just hit play. Here's JR.
Agitated situation orchestrated by Jim Cornette, proving once again that apparently he cannot be trusted. The dynamic dudes found out the hard way, and here are their pre-recorded comments.
What the heck is going on around here? I can expect it from Stan Lane and maybe Bobby Eaton too, but Jim Cornette, you are our friend. You are our advisor, and you stabbed us in the back, and we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to do something about it.
You know something, Jim Cornette, I would have given you more credit. I would have said that you had a lot bigger brand than you've got. You know, you said you never taught us a thing. But the one thing you did teach us, Jim Cornette, is all those wins we had when you were out there at the ringside with us came from here, brother. They were because of Dynamic Dude's ability and not because of the things you've told us. Midnight Express, you've got a war on your hands.
Doc, you got comments on Johnny Ace right there?
He's terrible. There's your current vice president of talent relations for the biggest wrestling company in the world.
It's the shit. God.
We use this all the time in our own kind of personal lingo back and forth. When we pop one another, a lot of times on a big level, we use mega pop. And I wrote down mega pop on how bad he is there.
It's the reverse mega pop.
That is very true. Now here's the thing. But here's the other little nuance thing that I noticed out of this. He's terrible, and he's always going to be terrible. Douglas is young here, but I also wonder, we talk about guys that are in the wrong time. How over would Douglas have been 6, 7, 8 years young earlier?
He would have been over because
he can work, he can talk, and he understands fundamentals.
He would have been over as a white meat babyface for sure.
That promo right there doesn't work in '89 as well as it would have in '82 or '83.
Here's the thing: he would have been over 7, 8 years earlier. The thing is, he also would have missed his chance at being the franchise in ECW because he would have been too old by then. So, like, it works later on, not that gimmick that he was doing right there, but it works later on because of what he becomes in ECW. Because,
and I'm telling you, as bad as Johnny Ace is right there, and at pretty much all points of his career, in my opinion, Douglas was, again, he and Raven were my two favorites in ECW.
The thing about Douglas is you can see it here or even earlier in the UWF or when he first comes in.
He's got the fundamentals.
Yeah, like he's not bad. It's like, okay, this is fine. It's that, like JR used to always say, oh, he's bad. He's not casted right. He ain't casted right here. Like, this just doesn't fit. And it's that whole, like, just aura of, the surfing and the Ocean Pacific, and he's got an LA Gear shirt on. It just doesn't work.
And I liked later stage him in ECW, but that where he had just a little bit of a mop of hair early on, and it was like Paulie told him, go out and be the dickhead territory wrestler.
And he did that shit to perfection. Perfection. Right. I mean, honest to God.
And I think it's because he had the footing in it.
If you ever had the time, I could see, and I know this is a if that'll never happen. You would actually want to go back and not watch ECW and review it, but I could see you wanting to go back and just be like, let's go jump into that franchise era, and I just want to watch Douglas's promos and matches and Ravens and talk about that. You would want to do that because it's good shit.
And the other one that I think is really, really good in that little short window before it got blown up was Taz.
Oh, yeah. I agree. But again, to the point you made, Douglas, 8 years earlier from 89, yes, is a great baby face. People love him.
But he misses out on the other end of it.
He misses out on 95, 96, 97 ECW when, I mean, look, Shane and I have had our differences, but at the end of the day, that gimmick, say it, Doc, when he says cut the...
Hold on. Cut the fucking music.
Oh, it's good, man. That gimmick, it was phenomenal.
And that match where he turns and on where Francine turns on the pit bulls was phenomenal. It was a 4-way TV title belt for a TV title. It went 30 minutes.
Dude, ECW from its whole run is not good in the totality.
No.
But there's
a 2-year run where they can throw that shit up against anybody.
They had that moment in time where it was like, this is.
But think about this: we watched
shit.
4 years of Smoky Mountain. 2 years of it was good. How long of World Class?
No,
was good?
I say 3 years. 3 years of it was good.
See, I would have said 2.5.
Okay.
How long was World Class good?
We've talked about this. 24 to 36 months.
Yeah.
It's how it works. They have these hot periods, and it's like, oh, things simmer down. But on that note, we'll keep going because we got to get to the next match. We got Doom number 1, who's Ron Simmons with a woman out there for obvious reasons. He's going to defeat Jerry Price. My note here is, I said this a few times and I'm going to say it again. Ron is jacked. He's got some guns
huge.
And traps on him. He is a brick house. He is jacked. And it is tremendous.
Jerry Price is not a small man.
No, he's not. But Ron makes him look tiny. I mean, he makes him look tiny. He's got a...
Did you get offended when JR said that these Dooms all look alike?
No,
Jesus Christ.
Did you see this text from Harper?
Jesus Christ.
Go ahead. Tell the people. Go. I want you. First off, let me answer your question. Did I get offended? No, because that's typically what they would say about masked people no matter what. They're like, when it's two guys who look alike, whether they were white, black, I've heard that before.
I can't concentrate on wrestling anymore.
Go ahead and tell the people what this son of a gun just texted you and I.
Here's Mr. Send me your money. We just got a text from Harper. I took a nap and just waking up. ... No circles, just dots. So we're not getting our asses eaten. We're just getting fucked in the ass. That's what that means, Mike. God,
I can't with him sometimes.
Well, I'm texting him back. Well,
I just texted, LOL. Okay, let us know when you're on.
You joining us.
Phenomenal.
Jesus Christ. Could you, just imagine a day, a 24-hour period where you just didn't give a shit like he doesn't.
I can't because I got a wife and kids.
Right. We're wrapped around the axle on everything all the time.
Yeah. It's not possible.
On some level, this is our release. And I got done with youth sports practice and texted you 40 minutes before we were supposed to start and said, yeah, I'm still a go. I got to let you know I'm still a go. I took a nap and just fucking forgot. Get the fuck out.
Let's await his reply. On that note, Doom wins. Doom won. Ron Simmons wins with a big clothesline. Did you have any other notes, Doc?
No, not at all. I had the note that he is immense.
He's solid, and woman looks phenomenal. And as my good friend Chris Zaha says in the Facebook group and on Twitter, woman is tremendous. Doom is tremendous. And we'll keep seeing.
You gotta like a woman, not just this woman, but any woman that transcends to the Hispanic, to the brother, and to the cracker, because that's a bad bitch. Because we all got our different sort of things that we like within each one of those groups. You know, there's the stereotype: the black man likes the big butt, all the different things. But man, when you get like a Sonny and Smokey, or like, oh, I want to go back to that in a minute, that highlight, or a woman, maybe a Brandy Rhodes. It just transcends everything. Look at that. Stop.
I love Brandy, but we've talked
Speaking
about
of loving something, man, back in 1989, that guy right there was the fastest, most aggressive dunker on the planet.
Dominique Wilkins.
Jesus. I saw him. I went to go see him play the Mavs one time. He just assaulted our rim, like just so fast. And
I saw him. I was in Atlanta for a Saints and Falcons game one year, and he was walking through the mall. It's even more impressive when you see somebody like him in person, when you see how tall he is and how big he is, and the fact that dude, you realize why he's a pro athlete. When you realize, damn, that guy is that big, and he could move like that when he was playing. This was in the early 2000s. I was like, wow. Actually, early. It was like 99 or something like that. He was tremendous. Dominique was tremendous.
Did I ever tell you about the time I cut a semi-promo on Kurt Thomas and the NBA's girlfriend after a game, a finals game?
No, you didn't.
Remember when the Bulls almost beat the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2011?
Yes.
So Kurt Thomas played for the Bulls, but he's also from Dallas. So we went to the finals game, and beat the Heat, the Mavericks. But on the way out, walking by, there was, Kurt Thomas. And again, to your point, that motherfucker's 6'11".
Yeah.
And that means something when you stand up next to it, because I'm 6'2", and it's like, dude, there's a tree over there. Dude, so first of all, he's 6'11". So I know what he looks like, and he always has that mean look on his face. And I turned to my wife, and I was fucking hammered because it was post game. We beat the Heat. I was drunk, and I go, "That's Kurt Thomas," and his girlfriend goes, "Yeah," and my wife's like, "Shh, shh, hush, hush," and I was like, "Look, I ain't saying nothing. I wish his team would have won. We'd be in a lot better shape if his team would have won than LeBron and those guys." And his girlfriend popped. I was about to get my ass whooped by a 6'11" mad brother, but whatever.
And Harper has joined us.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing all right.
Oh, we read your text on air. How you took a nap?
You must be fresh. You must be ready for your run in.
Book it, bitch.
No, slow down.
Well, Harper, so we've covered everything through...
But this is a good spot for you to come on in here.
Yeah, we covered everything through Doom winning and the Freebirds cut their quick promo talking about the match coming up. And now we just got to Gary Hart and Buzz Sawyer, who are going up against Trent Knight. So that's where we're at. Doc, you got thoughts?
Yeah, let's go. We've got Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer in the ring. By all accounts, from those who knew him, he was not a good person.
He sounds like he was a real asshole.
Yeah, but let me tell you this: he brings that Kevin Sullivan kind of, we could get real nasty and this could break down and I could split your head open sort of mentality to this. And I'm going to say one of my notes here is wrestling needs more guys that bring that to the table like he does. I don't care about his goofy hair and his gut or whatever he looks like. He brings the sense of danger that this shit could pop off in a second.
Yeah.
And all your same looking guys or whatever you're doing for diversity reasons in the wrestling business, don't cut that today.
What other thoughts? I'm about to say something about this that is not.
Well, give me 30 minutes exactly, and he hits a hell of a suplex, and I'm going to go ahead and hit that since we're right here at 10 seconds out.
Yeah, it's coming. He just stomped him in the face, like Garvin. He just literally stepped on his dude's face. Is this what you're talking about here, this suplex?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. He snapped him over, and then he went with him. That was a nice one. That was nice. Did you have anything from this, Harper?
I mean, this is a great fucking match. He looks fucking crazy, and everything he does looks like it hurts.
Well, there might be a reason for that, but yeah.
I do agree. He's crazy, and everything he does looks like it hurts. My biggest problem not my biggest problem, but the first thing, Jim Ross, he puts over Buzz and how vicious he is, which is true. But I tell me if I'm wrong here, Doc and Harper. I hate the armchair book this, but it's kind of like what we do here. So they bringing Buzz in, which we know he's a badass. He's a mad dog. Why is he out here wrestling Trent Knight in a 7-minute match? Like, I know they got time to fill, but I just felt like for his first match, they just beat this poor sap 1, 2, 3 and get it over with.
See, I disagree, and I thought about this, and I actually have a note in a later match that comes back to this match. First of all, Trent Knight fought back. He chopped the shit out of Buzz.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of reasons here. One is it was to really demonstrate on a personal level how sadistic Buzz really is. Like, they kept saying he could pin him at any point. He's enjoying this.
That's true, because he had him down.
And he pulled him up after that suplex just a minute ago. But look at Trent Knight fighting back, and it's like he likes the pain. So I think they're using that to kind of get Buzz over.
Dude, he just punched him, and I swear that was real.
That hair
when he fell out
something.
the ring.
Yeah, no.
Dude, Doc, I'm gonna look it up. Keep going, Doc. I want to look something up related to Buzz. You know what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna say it. Keep going.
Yeah, we're getting ready to guess his age, I would assume.
Okay. Do you know it?
It's wow.
No. Don't say
31 here.
I don't know, but I would say my note here, and you mentioned this a minute ago. He's like a legitimate crazy Ron Garvin.
Doc, I'm gonna tell you his birth date.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody would think, like, today you would think that guy's 44 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you want to hear his birth date?
Yeah, I can do math on the fly. I'm not
June 14th, 1959.
59, that makes him 30.
Yeah.
He's 30.
Wow. You know any 30-year-olds that look like that?
No.
I don't know any 40-year-olds that look like that.
Dude, he looks like he's 48. He looks like he's Ron Wright's age.
That is a hell of a move right there.
Yeah, fuck that.
We got to go back. That is something. First off, he looks like he's Ron Wright's age in Smokey, which was 50-something.
But that is...
Buzz charges Trent Knight, who's on the ring apron, and he basically shoulder tackles him, and Trent goes flying to the outside. Boof! I'm with Harper. Harper, say it again. F that.
Fuck that. Because you don't know where you're landing or fucking how you're landing.
Yeah, that's
and the
pretty
other
vicious.
Thing is, and this is what makes Buzz really good, he's calling out here, where's Flair? There, right there. Where's Flair? Where's Sting? Where's
the
Oldie?
Andersons?
Give me somebody.
That dude is 30 years old right here. That is amazing.
You could make money putting that up on people. Guess this man's age.
I guarantee you nobody would guess lower than 40.
Yeah. He looks fucking old.
Bro, that looks like a dude who's had a rough life.
Man.
Well, Undertaker said in that Rogan interview, like, he was like, dude, Buzz would get pilled. I mean, we already know the stories about him, but Buzz was, yeah, let's just say Buzz wasn't living a straight edge life, brother.
Can I get 3608?
Oh, you got another one. Jesus, 3608.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
watched these. I'm serious about what we do here. This should have finished the match.
Oh, the power slam. Yes, I had that.
That should have
Here
finished
it comes. Yeah, Buzz used to deliver a hell of a power slam. Watch this. It looks so good. The way he catches him in midair and he picks him up.
Nah, he should have finished it there. That right there is the 1989 version of the Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah, that looks fucking great.
That and the Frankensteiner.
Buzz was really good with the power slam. He would do it. There's an episode of Mid-South where he hits Tim Horner with a power slam. He catches Tim coming off the second rope, and it is beautiful. The way he reverses him,
just slapping him on the way up.
Buzz wins with this is gonna be his finisher, the splash off the top. Any other thoughts, Doc? Or Harper?
Did one of the Samoans did a splash off the top rope earlier?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of like.
Everything was airtight, brother.
And it would have been just easier to finish him with the power slam.
Yeah.
Airtight, brother.
I'm going to tell you, man, I'm not putting him over as a person, but putting him over as a wrestler. And in this match, well, here we go. We got another guy who can wrestle, who's realistic, and is tough.
Great point. I can't disagree. On that note, we keep going. There is a Kevin Sullivan promo. I don't have anything from it, though. I thought it was meat and potatoes. What did you think?
I thought it was good, and at the end, play the last few seconds.
Well, it's not that long, so.
Okay, I thought this was good. He said something at the end that got me.
Well, he's about to wrestle a match against Tommy Angel. Here's before the match, though.
Monday night. Before we see Kevin Sullivan in action here on World Championship Wrestling, let's hear his pre-recorded comments.
A lot of people come to me and ask me about the woman, the Doom, and the Steiner situation. I'm going to make it real clear. I'm supposed to be the most devious man in professional wrestling, so that means I'm very, very clever. I know one thing, that Doom means destruction. And I also know that the Steiner brothers, they don't have a brain in their body. That's why you can beat on them all night and they come back. Well, Doom, Steiners, I don't know who is going to get hurt. But woman is the most deceivious person I've ever met in my life. And it may be the Steiners out of professional wrestling, or it may be Doom themselves. But I know one thing. Kevin Sullivan's much too clever to get caught in any kind of crossfire caused by a woman. Steiners, Doom, I don't know who's going to make it, but I certainly am.
Did he say deceivious when he was?
He did.
That was good. he pulled something I usually do. That's what
That'll be the first name of some linebacker or wide receiver at LSU next semester.
It's nice.
Deceivious Jackson.
That's a 5-tool player, blue chip recruit
from Ponchatoula.
Yeah, that was pretty good, Sully. I got to give you credit there, man.
He's too smart to get involved with their bullshit.
So any other thoughts, Doc, on Sullivan?
No, he's Sullivan.
Yeah.
Well, we go to his match against Tommy Angel, and Sullivan beats the hell out of Tommy Angel.
But Tommy Angel fought back again. The jobbers were feisty here.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, look at that.
See?
He says, fuck you, Kevin.
It's almost like Kevin Sullivan and Buzz Sawyer said, beat me up a little bit. I like it. Look at that. Tommy Angel's getting some offense in, and Trent Knight was chopping on Buzz.
Look, did you see that kick that he just delivered to Trent Knight's head? You know, it's a point, because usually the jobbers that Garvin would beat down on, if they even tried fighting
How's
back.
this not a DQ?
What
don't worry about it.
Yeah. Kayfabe, brother. Everything was airtight.
I thought he was going to pull a golden spike out of that damn thing.
Well, at least he didn't hit him in the back of the head like he did Jeff Daniels in Smoky Mountain.
Or carve his arm off.
Well, dude, I mean, we talk about it, but the Smoky Mountain show, Kevin Sullivan recklessly hit a man in the back of the head with a wooden chair and put like 20 stitches in the guy's head. It was reckless.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a big fan of Sullivan.
I love Sullivan too, but I call it like I see it. Tommy Angel took that post really great there. Anyway.
Yeah, he did.
He beats Tommy Angel's ass, and it's real good stuff. Harper, you got anything else from it?
This is good shit, man.
It really is.
You got Sullivan beating the piss out of somebody. Buzz Sawyer beating the piss out of somebody. SSD went hard earlier.
I didn't look up.
Look at Tommy Angel.
He's fighting back. I didn't look up the taping schedule. I'm willing to bet. Well, no, I was going to say they may have taped this before, but no, they didn't tape this before the Clash. This was taped after. But this is good. You've got Sullivan just beating the hell out of him.
And I like it, the fact that he's fighting back some. It makes Sullivan even more sadistic.
Yeah. It's good to see him get something in.
Like, I'm not just going to stand here and let you kill me.
Yeah.
After the match, look at that knee to the head as Angel's on the outside. Sullivan beat the piss out of him. I'm going to make it look
real, brother.
Brother, what do you think they do to monkeys in Malaysia? But no.
I'm going to let you get some stuff in, but it's going to cost you.
God, I wish I could do a good Kevin Sullivan. I mean, he's fighting back. I'm fast forwarding through it, but here's the thing. This thing went like 8 minutes. It wasn't.
I know.
This wasn't no quick wham bam thank you ma'am type match, man. They got in there busted some ass. Look at Angel. He's got an arm bar.
Look at that shit.
He's working an arm. And Sullivan Sullivan hulks up on him. Oh my God! If you got to patrons out there, or if you're not a patron, you got to look at the video version of this where you can see this match and the Buzz Sawyer match we were talking about, because it really was some good stuff. Doc, anything else before we keep going?
Good.
I thought so too.
This match is whoa. Let me get these nuts in your ear.
Yeah, we've got a lot of nuts in ears, man. Nuts in faces.
That's what wrestling is. Nuts in ears. This match was way better than it had any right to be.
So I agree. Watch Sullivan stomp Tommy Angel in the gut right here. It's
down low too.
Boom.
Oops.
Pins him, and then when he's leaving, he pushes some pathetic, pitiful security guy. Watch when Sullivan leaves right here. What do you think they do to monkeys in Malaysia? Here comes.
God, old man.
That poor old dude wasn't expecting that. He's just standing there and Sullivan pushes him.
That's great.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to run a corporate wrestling business with Kevin Sullivan and Buzz Sawyer. Super.
Right. Go figure.
Terry Funk.
All right. So, well, on that note, we're going to go now because there's not a ton of promos on this. We go to the main event of this week's episode where we're going to
I need to bring up something here, and then I'm going to go get a beer while you and Harper talk.
Okay.
What's that?
The Freebirds are a real problem right here when they come out. They gave away that they're losing the titles. Watch them.
Explain.
They don't dance, and they look pissed off.
Oh.
Let's see.
So
watch it. They absolutely telegraphed that they are dropping the straps here. The only thing that tells you that they're not is that it's free TV. But shame on them. Watch them. Watch them throughout this. Watch Hayes on the top. This is, look, they're not dancing. They're not crazy. They're not excited.
Just and no moonwalk.
Look.
So, no yeah, you're right. Boy, they look like they got told by the... Here's the other part. They didn't even come out with the belts.
Yeah, that's what... at the end, I'm like, wait, where's the belts at? Then I was like, well, maybe I misunderstood it, or listened to something wrong.
Doc, I think here's what I was going to say earlier. I didn't look up the taping of this, but because Flair and Funk aren't there, and Cornette is noticeably missing too, I wondered if this was taped prior to the Clash. But I don't know.
I don't know, but I got a real problem with what the Freebirds just did right there.
Well, and then they came out without the belts too. That's the other part.
Right.
What's
that about?
Yeah. But you picked up. I didn't pick up on what you picked up on, but that's a good point. I mean, Hayes and Garvin looked like the booker in the back told them that they were about to look up at the lights and they didn't like the decision. And now they're not dancing and having a good time.
And the match is fine, but coming out, they had boo-boo face.
I agree. Well, look, you go get your beer.
Give me 50-57 real quick, and then
okay.
I'm gonna go get a burr.
Okay, I got something to say when I go to 50-57 or after that. So I'm at 50-51. The crowd's into it.
This move.
With the flying crossbody, yeah.
Oh, when he jumped. It was nothing too fancy, but it was effective. So Go get your beer as you're doing that. So JR tells us next week, as this match is going on, Ric Flair will take on the Great Muta in the main event. Stay tuned to see if that happens. No spoilers here. We get a Freebird sissy chant going in the building. Surely that had something with the outlandish dancing we've normally seen, although we haven't seen it here today. Jim Ross also keeps teasing some announcement that he will make on the wrestling hotline. No idea what that's about at the moment, but stay tuned. You never know. We may talk about it next week. I thought, as we wait for Doc to get back, the match itself is kind of slow for the most part. They're very methodical and they go for a while. For the first 10 to 12 minutes, it's very methodical. Woman actually comes out at one point, and she's just kind of circling the ring area and observing, and Jim Ross equates it to her playing mind games with Rick Steiner because of what's going on with them. They may have worked slow, but the crowd was very much into it. Harper, what did you have while we wait for Doc to get back?
This match was real. This was a really good treat, man. I had fun watching this.
They gave him a lot of time, too.
Yeah, man. How long was the match?
I didn't time it exactly, but I thought they went about 20.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, and even a program if it's a 2-hour program, giving a match 20 minutes is saying something on free TV.
Yeah.
During this time especially, I mean, we're still house show business type thing. They gave a lot of time, and again, they work slow, but the crowd, I thought, was into it. There were chants. I mean, it wasn't like the crowd was just like, this is boring. You didn't get that. They were into this thing. They were into this thing a lot. The Steiners are over. The Freebirds are hated just like it's supposed to be, unless you're in Philadelphia where they get cheered. Doc, are you back yet?
No.
All right, Harper. What else you got while we're waiting on Lord Idiot to get back with his White Claw?
I just really loved watching this shit. I watched it again today.
I've seen this multiple times.
There's a spot. I didn't write down the goddamn time spent. Is this it? Let's see. It's when he comes out, when he locks up. No. Fuck, I should have wrote it down, but it was a nice little spot. Let's see. I don't think this is it.
They did some good stuff, man, throughout the match. Again,
let's see. Wait. Yeah, I think this is it. Throws him in, ducks a clothesline, and bam.
That was nice.
See, I think that. So I'm back. I think that the Freebirds were fine in the match, but man, coming out was a problem.
Yeah, and I was saying while you were gone, I thought they worked. The match was actually worked slow, but the crowd, to me, they were into it the whole time, like the chanting. It was like the crowd knew, wait, this is a big deal. This is the NWA World Tag Titles, you know. We love the Steiners. The Steiners are over. We hate the Freebirds. Again, unless you're in Philadelphia and the Freebirds are wrestling the dudes, the Freebirds are not going to get cheered, and that's what happened here. The crowd was really into this. The heel work was good. They're kicking and pounding on Rick Steiner on the outside. Those are great looking punches by Garvin. They're double teaming him on the outside. The refs can't see it. It's just really good heel work, and the crowd is really, really into this thing throughout. Any more timestamps you got, Doc?
5707. I thought it was nice.
All right, so we got 5705.
Let's see.
Boot to the gut, and then a slam. Rick
Nice
Steiner
forward.
hit Garvin with a boot to the gut, picks him up almost like an angle slam. Garvin
See, I don't
bumps,
know if
1-2.
I don't know if y'all talked about this while I was gone. I really like the fact that Woman came out,
Yeah.
but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It was like, well, maybe it will. What is
There
she doing?
is.
Yeah, there she is. What is she doing? But everything feels so obvious today that it would have been like, well, then somebody's coming out.
JR had a great, I said it when you had stepped away. JR had a great explanation. He's like, she must be playing mind games with Rick Steiner. And you know what? That's as realistic as it comes, because that's exactly what she could be doing. Any other timestamps, Doc?
I don't. I thought this match was good. You know, we've talked about in different shows that the Freebirds have a hard time.
That was the botch I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a mess up near the finish. It's coming here. Rick Steiner hits a overhead belly to belly on the Hayes, and then I don't know what the heck was supposed to happen. It wasn't clean at all. There's supposed to be some kind of leapfrog right here, and Steiner leapfrogs over Hayes and goes into his brother and Garvin, and I don't know. But here comes the finish. It happens shortly. Rick Steiner's going to power slam Hayes. While Rick Steiner is pinning Hayes, Jimmy Garvin comes off the top rope, misses Hayes because Steiner moves. Steiner hits Garvin, goes back to Hayes, 1, 2, 3. And look at the crowd. Did you see the crowd? They erupt.
They jumped up.
Yep. Let me see if I can get some audio from it. Here it is.
Got him in a power slam. Referee's putting Scott out. Garvin came off. Garvin nailed Hayes. Garvin nailed Hayes. Steiner's on top. 1, 2. Yeah! New tag team champions have been crowned. The Steiners have won it.
Look at the crowd,
Look.
man.
Hey, look, it ain't 1985 or 6 with that sweaty South Carolina building with Tully and Dusty or the Tully and Arn, but that's a big reaction for that room.
Yeah, it is.
I guarantee you the reaction wouldn't have been like that if the dudes would have won it. That's how you know these dudes are over. The dudes being the Steiners, I mean. That's a hell of a reaction.
With his Hooters shirt on.
Dude,
well, Douglas has a Hooters hat on.
Bruh,
And
I was going to rewind
if you would
it.
have been Rip Van Winkle over there, I had a note for you and I to talk about that, but never mind, the moment's past.
Douglas has on LA Gear shoes, stonewashed jeans, a pink LA Gear t-shirt tucked into the jeans, and a fluorescent Hooters hat on.
Here's the thing, and this is one of the things that wrestling's lost. You don't need everybody's music to hit for them to come out. But the good guys, bad guys thing was always like when Flair would cut those promos. Now I'm walking on this guy's side of the street, and it's pretty good having the Road Warriors. It is a team concept of good versus evil, and people can get on board with team sports. So when those baby faces come out to cheer with Steiner, it kind of means something.
Well, and you didn't hear no music. They just won. The crowd erupts.
They just came out. It was
and they run out.
It was a spontaneous celebration, and it makes the title mean something.
Yes. That's good shit, man.
And hey, we cannot gloss over the fact that the World Tag Team titles just switched hands on free TV.
Well, and here's the other thing. Doc, you got a good memory. How long has Steiners been together at this point?
Fuck, I don't know.
It's just a few months.
7 months? 8 months? 9 months? At the most?
No, it's not even that long.
No?
I think it's only like 6 months.
Yeah, that's true, because I keep thinking of Rick Steiner. Steiner. But yeah, Scott, it's been there about 6 months, right?
It's what I thought. I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm thinking, my point being, this is how you book a team strong. They haven't really, like, had to do some dumb shit or get buried on television. They've shown themselves to be badasses with the suplexes, and they throw guys around like rag dolls, right? And you see what makes them special. I mean, they've lost, but it's been at a big event. It hasn't been on regular TV. They've shown themselves. I mean, we've said it a number of times. The enhancement talent matches, like, God, man, look how good they look. God, look how good they look. God, look, and all that stuff adds up over time, and you start to realize, well, damn, when you treat this real and you treat these guys like they are badasses and like they're a big deal, when they do win the titles, it's gonna be a big deal. That's what you saw. But go ahead, Doc.
Well, I mean, shit. The Steiners are no nonsense, toss you on your head kind of guys. They're now the tag team champs. Muda's the TV champ.
Yeah.
Luger, and as Silva has said, what might be the best year of his career is the U.S. champ. Flair's the world champ. Where are the holes? The holes are in all the other shit they're trying to do. The Normans, the Ranger Ross, the bullshit.
Oh God.
God, thank God we didn't see none of that this week. Thank God.
But we also didn't see Luger. We didn't see Sting. We didn't see Flair, and we didn't see Funk. And I don't say that as a bad thing. I say that in an hour and 68 minutes, 33 seconds, you're getting ready to get a good rating out of me. That says a lot about the talent on the roster.
I agree. Harper, you got any other closing thoughts on this match before I go to the last promo with the Steiners?
Well, they were showing this because of the sweeps time, huh? Or whatever.
That's what Cornette has said in the past about this time period. Like putting this big match on right here at the end like this. This is not the last time they're going to do something. I mean, I'm not going to tell you they're going to change the belt at main event, like, on the last match, but Cornette has said that about late 89 with sweeps month or whatever. Like, yeah, he's mentioned that.
Yeah, this was a great little fucking match, man.
It was a great match, and this was a great episode, in my opinion.
Tremendous episode.
Again, you get it in under an hour and 20. You get it closer to 60 minutes, and you let Sullivan beat the piss out of somebody. Buzz Sawyer beat the piss out of somebody, and the Steiners are out there. And SST and Ron Simmons. I mean, how do you poke holes in that? And we didn't see Flair, Funk, Luger, or Muda. What's the fucking problem? How can we mess this up? I mean, God damn it. Arn Anderson's coming back soon.
In the words of the famous man here,
it ain't that fucking hard, guys. We ain't building a rocket. We're getting guys over in a fake fucking business.
This episode encapsulates that, right?
You know what this feels like? You know what this feels like to me? It feels like the TNA when they had everybody in the wrestling business in that organization.
Yeah, huh?
Everybody's there. We're all here in the boat. How come we can't go anywhere?
Yeah, why can't we got all the talent in the world? Why can't we print some money?
Right.
I mean, in the words of Kevin Sullivan, he said it. It ain't that hard, guys. We ain't building a rocket. We're getting guys over in a fake business. I mean, it's just factual information.
But there's people over. I mean, shit, I didn't even bring up Pillman.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Brian Pillman. Fuck.
Sting. And hey, again, I'm not a fan. I said this earlier. I'm not a fan of Sting, but he just won most popular wrestler. And we didn't have Sting, Luger, Flair, Funk, or Muta. And this episode is getting a high rating.
We had Gary Hart, and he didn't even say nothing. He just was out there with Buzz.
So damn.
Well, we got one more promo, and then we're gonna rate it and hand out the Rolex. We got the Steiners as we're about to go off air. They're very happy. Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about the new tag team champions of the world? The first brothers since the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Congratulations, young man.
Thank you, Jim Ross. Me and my brother been plugging away at these titles. We promised the people way back, and now we deliver. Yeah!
Hey, Dogface, how do you feel, buddy?
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Well, tag team championship. I'll tell you something. The great teams of the NWA are going to be coming right at you, including Doom.
Jim Ross, we didn't change the train all these years for nothing. We're going to have these belts now, and we're going to keep them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you got anything else you want to say? Hi, Mom, anything out there?
Hi, Mom, we won! Yeah!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now don't forget, right here next week, the main event will be on this program. Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and the Great Muta, right here on television next week. Don't forget this Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, in the Omni, 7:30 is the starting time. It's going to be a great week. What a way to celebrate Thanksgiving for you guys.
That's right. We got the world belts, and now we're going to do a lot of eating. We're going to eat a big turkey. Thanks, Atlanta. Yeah!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow night on the main event.
So again, it was meat and potatoes there at the end from them, and Steiner is just acting goofy as he normally does. But I'm with Doc. This was a tremendous episode. We're gonna rate it, hand out some Rolexes in a minute. Doc, do you have any thoughts on the Steiners though as we go off?
He's gonna eat a big turkey. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
Thanks, Atlanta.
Thanks, Atlanta. Harper should go watch The Clash when he cuts the promo talking about how the Frankensteiner became called the Frankensteiner and how he had woman and he didn't like it. Yeah. But on that note, we do need to rate it, hand out some Rolexes. Before we do so, want to remind you, please consider using the Amazon Associates link for the show. It's tinyurl.com/BTTAmazon. Doesn't cost you anything. The show gets some support in return from Amazon when you use that link. Again, it's tinyurl.com/BTTAmazon. Give it to the wives, girlfriends, side pieces, whatever you have in your life, and tell them to use it every time they utilize Amazon. And remember to get The Clash that we reviewed last week and the Halloween Havoc that was out before that and the over 200 plus other Patreon shows, you got to go to tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT and sign up. Remember, this show has no ads. We just plug ourselves, and that's it. So support the show and become a patron.
We also plug a lot of bitches.
Oh, yeah. God.
In all the right holes.
Oh, really? Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have said in all the wrong holes.
Oh, there's no such thing as a wrong hole, right, Mike?
Doc, what are you going to rate this episode?
Coming in, I'm going to say this, and I like to level with the people. Coming in, I had this as an A. Watching it again, I'm giving this an A+. And the thing that raised it was, a lot of times it's talking about it, but to me, it's all the people that weren't here and how this was still a great show. And sometimes, as the people who listen to the show know, when you send in the JV Goon Squad, the quality suffers.
Yeah.
I mean, when people are subjected to Mike and Sparks and Silva, ugh. But when you get Harper and Doc, sometimes Mike, it's always an A+.
There's so nice to hear you verbally crank yourself.
This is the JV Goon Squad pulling off an A. I'm giving it an A+.
Yeah, just like our JV Goon Squad does. So an A+. All right. Well, I mean, look, I can't disagree. I'm going to give it an A+ as well. It's an A+. This was a hell of an episode. Harper, what are you giving it?
It's an A+, man. Fuck.
Yeah. Yep. 100% agree. A+.
Yeah.
Great show. A+ all the way around. Okay. So then we need to hand out a Rolex. Doc, do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I do not.
That's nice.
Well, I got to give it to the World Tag Team title match and the Steiner brothers getting a win. I'm giving it to the match. I mean, you know, those guys went out there, put their working boots on. Hayes and Garvin looked mad coming out, but whatever. The match was good. The crowd loved it. Good stuff. I'm giving it to that match. Doc?
I'm still, even at this point, a little confused. And here's why. We had the World Tag Team belts change hands on free TV, but we also had Buzz Sawyer premiere. What is it? Harper? Who gets the Rolex?
Buzz.
See, I think so too, but man, the tag team titles changed hands.
I mean, Buzz Sawyer looks like a deranged mailman.
He's right. It's exactly what he looks like.
You can picture driving in the little truck.
Yeah, I got a question. If anybody training at Wildcat showed up and was like, yeah, I'm going to get in the business or be at the school, had to deal with Buzz Sawyer, how many of them would last?
They would be dead.
That's what I thought.
Everybody would be dead. It's like, you know, I remember in that movie, God, what the fuck was it called? When he had the sharks with the super brains in them. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
That came out like 20 years ago.
I don't remember.
And they had the super sharks, and they were attacking this underground.
Are you talking about Any Given Sunday?
No, I know exactly the movie you're talking about.
Mike, how many times did you see Any Given Sunday?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, a few times, but I don't know if it was.
I guarantee I've seen that movie 25 times.
Yeah. I'll go on YouTube and watch the fucking locker room scene a million fucking times.
Harper, the inches we need are everywhere.
Yeah. The inches we need are everywhere around us. On this team, we fight and claw for those inches.
So are you going to fight and claw for the guy next to you and that inch? That is a hell of a speech.
I've made every mistake a man my age could make.
God. That's a hell of a promo, dude. Oh, my God, he cut a promo. I've seen that movie quite a few times. That's not the movie Harper's talking about. I think the movie you're talking about is called Deep Blue Sea or some
and it had
bull crap.
The one big smart shark just kills all the regular fucking sharks.
Something like that.
That's what it would be like. And in Ocean of Sharks, he is that shark.
Okay, so Mike, let me ask you, because
dude, that's actually the name of it, Harper. I can't believe I remember that. It's called Deep Blue Sea. It came out in '99, and LL Cool J was in it. Michael Rappaport was in it. Samuel L. Jackson was in it.
I remember Tony Soprano's sister was in it too.
Aida?
Really? Huh.
Who?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I had no idea. Go ahead, Doc.
I'm going to ask you this: who is the from everything allegedly we've heard about Buzz? Who is the person in the wrestling business that you ran into that was most like Buzz? Would it be Chris Adams?
Sabu.
This is a Harper for you, Sabu. Is that person?
Yeah.
No.
He seemed off.
I wouldn't say Sabu. I definitely wouldn't say Chris Adams. Adams wasn't a good person, but what I've heard about Buzz was even worse.
Here's the thing, man. You want to talk about hypotheticals? if Chris Adams had been Chris Adams, but his character would have been John Cena, like his personal character, not his wrestling character, like his life character, would there have been a bigger star than Chris Adams if it had been John Cena in real life?
I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean.
You know, like if he wasn't a fucking drunk and a psycho, and
he was the guy who, like Corny says, showed up like, I'm squared away. He was squared away.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question, but I mean that probably fits for a lot of guys.
He could pull all the women. Tell Kerry Von Erich too, for that matter. Shit.
I loved him on fucking World Class when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, I mean he was a megastar. I mean, I know people, people who didn't grow up during that time don't get it, but those guys like him, because he was a babyface and then he turned heel.
Yeah.
But like Adams with that English accent I mean, dude, he was a mega star in World Class. He was tremendous. Even when he turned heel, he was tremendous. God, he was great. So, yeah, I mean, he was something else. Just couldn't get his life together.
The thing is, and I sure hope that the SMU heavyweight talked about this. The only reason he was such a great heel was because he was such a great babyface. It was, I mean, I was 9, 10. It was betrayal.
Dude, when he turned, he was in the ring and he turned and super kicked Kevin Von Erich is when he turned.
It was unimaginable.
Shit. Yeah.
He kicked him and it came out of nowhere. And Kevin flies back, who was a stiff bastard himself. Holy shit, that crowd lost their shit. And he was off and running. I mean, he was off and running. Mega. He was... Dude, that's the thing I say that about these guys nowadays. You know, that like nowadays you look at like Facebook and Twitter and you see how many followers these guys have. Bruh, those dudes back in the day, if there would have been a Twitter, it would have been the millions of people that a Chris Adams and a Junkyard Dog and an Iceman King Parsons and a Kerry Von Erich and a Kevin Von Erich would have had following them back then would dwarf what these people have following them now.
Yeah, because no one watches them now.
That's what I'm saying.
So here's the thing. On an episode that we all gave an A+, that had the unprecedented move of switching a major title, I'm giving my Rolex to Buzz Sawyer because the wrestling business needs more Kevin Sullivan, Buzz Sawyer in the ring, because that's the shit that made it entertaining.
I'm going to see how you feel about Buzz in a few months.
Well, I didn't watch this, so here's the thing. Like, I'm now in this gray period where I didn't see this shit. I can only react on what I see today. Now, this episode was ripe with wanting to look at that. Just Tommy Angel's head is birthing out of Kevin Sullivan's crotch.
That's nice.
You should have been here earlier for the SST, pal.
Well, I fell asleep waiting for y'all.
We can litigate that later.
All right. So, Doc.
Look, you read the BTT.
You sound like you're drunk and
handbook.
Running out of wind over there.
Huh?
You sound like you're drunk and running out of wind. So maybe we should get Harper's Rolex. Harper, who are you giving your Rolex to?
The Buzz.
See?
Right. 2 for Buzz, 1 for the title match.
And then he's going to take the Rolex and sell it for some shit.
Oh, boy.
Right.
He'll get him a nice little pinch of
the question will
powder.
be, will it be for pills or roids?
He's definitely pilling up a lot here, yeah. Yeah, he looks like a pill guy here, for sure.
But he's also kind of puffy.
He is. I like his physique.
Yeah, he looks like an old man.
I mean,
no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. He's got a beer gut. He's got a dad bod, kind
of. No. He kind of reminds me of like a bigger Arn Anderson.
Yes. Puffier in every way. Like if you stuck a needle up his ass and started inflating him.
I guess.
So does Sullivan on some level.
Yeah.
Sullivan actually lifted weights.
Yeah, that's true.
Not in 89. Dad bod is me.
I mean,
Buzz Sawyer actually has muscles.
I guess. I mean, it's just the hair throws you off too, though. Jesus,
that is a hit from the neck up is ridiculous.
Yeah, because he's got that. What do you call that when you start losing your hair, Doc?
He's got the horseshoe pattern baldness.
Yes, the horseshoe pattern baldness.
Like Dr. Phil.
But
then he's done some like styling in the back.
No, he's got stripes on the sides.
Racing stripes.
Didn't he have kind of like a little rat tail in the back?
Yes. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
But isn't that what a crazy person would do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is. God, he looks terrible. Okay, so we got 2 for Buzz. I gave it to the NWA title, and we all gave it an A+. This was really a tremendous episode.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was good. All right, before we get out of here, I do have to take care of one quick thing. First off, shout out to Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast with Joe Murata and Michael Quinn, the northern version of BTT. Slightly classier, a little bit more professional, but still fun nonetheless. They support us. Please support them. Give them your ear. And also, I want to shout out Mike Prue and JV. They do our ECW show on the Patreon feed. They also do a show on the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So check them out. I think it's at BottomLineCast on Twitter. And just search BottomLineCast wherever you get your podcast from. And you can check out their show on Austin's career. On that note, it is getting a little late, Doc. So I figured you might be getting a little tuckered out. Honestly, I am getting a little tuckered out. Harper's probably fresh because, well, he got drunk and took a nap and then decided to join us. Must be nice, but that's how it works, Doc. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. I want to close with one thing here quickly. We put this over before he was on, but let's talk about it while he's here.
Yes, please.
Again, if you want something special, and I mean special, from the hard body himself, you got to get in contact with him. I said this earlier, I call it right down the middle. Can't put over these videos I have seen from Harper connecting with his fans in what can only be described as the most special way. He is out there hanging and banging with his people.
Let me help you.
This stuff is truly phenomenal. This
is not copy and paste. Let me go through the 15 things or the 60 things, the 100 requests. These are carefully curated. And I mean, when he told somebody about to get married to smarten up, I popped.
For those of you who are not on Twitter or social media, just here's Harper's very first satisfied customer, and I'll set the scene.
This isn't him like practicing up. This is first one out the gate.
This is first one out the gate, and this is Harper cutting or creating.
Giving somebody a very special 40th birthday.
Right. This is a video shout out to someone named Paul on Paul's 40th birthday, and Harper can do this for you or a friend, but just give a listen. It's very short. Harper sitting on a toilet, eating a sandwich, and he's about to wipe himself as he does this shout out. Here it is.
What's up, Paul? It's Hardbody Harper for Wildcat Wrestling, the greatest manager in the sport of wrestling today, and from your favorite podcast, Booking the Freaking Territory, brah. And all I can tell you is, brah, happy 40th birthday to you, man. Because I remember when I turned 40, man, the first thing I did, I got the finger right up the rear end, right? No prostate cancer, and now I think I might be kind of queer sometimes, which is a win-win situation, right? So, happy birthday to you, bro. Go get fucked up tonight. Drink all the beer you can, bang all the freaking hoes you can. So, kick ass, dude. Happy birthday to you. Cheers, bro. Here's to you. I got a wife now. Get a life.
So he's drinking Rolling Rock from a can. You have quite the workstation at the toilet there.
Yeah, well.
That, in the words of Vincent McMahon, that's good shit, pal.
Yeah. That was a good sandwich.
I'm going to tell you, you're not going to get that kind of content from certain people that take a cut. Give all your money to Harper.
Yes. Again, you can PayPal Harper at cc30388, that's the number 8, cc@yahoo.com, and then email Harper to chrisharper16wildcat@gmail.com to let him know that you PayPal'd him and what you want in your video.
Whose bathroom was that cut in?
That was Tiffany's.
Who?
It was his woman's. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
I was given enough space for you to edit that out later.
I mean, whatever.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, like,
let's
whatever.
put her on blast on social media.
I mean, she's the... But he's cut a bunch more since then. He's just got to... I got to get Harper. I got to get her to send me the video so I can put them on.
Chris Sanchez just shared one.
Yeah, Zaha, not Zonches, but
whatever, bro. It was, who cares?
Good stuff.
Oh, there goes that personal connection with the fans.
Zaha. It's pronounced Zaha.
It's Zaha? It's like Baja, but Zah.
Mm-hmm.
Zaha. All right, so I was saying his last name wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
Fucking Mexicans, man.
I know, right?
Mexicans? What are you talking about? It's not a Mexican name.
What is it?
I don't know what it is, but it's pronounced Zaha.
Zaha.
It's spelled Zaucha, but it's pronounced Zaha. It might be German or something. I don't know. What does it matter what it is? It's just pronounced Zaha. And he's a good kid.
It helps us do our demographic research on who's accessing Harper.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. Real good kid.
That way we can micro market to the digital platform
Dude,
and protect the brand.
He is gonna crank one off. Us talking about him now. Look, I joke about that idiot Jaworski. Whatever. Zaha, he's a real man's man.
How do you get Zaha out of what you just spelled?
Jesus Christ!
He needs to contact the show and tell us what nationality he is before we can proceed.
He's a white dude.
It's not Zaha. There's a C in it.
Yeah, there's no way.
Bruh, I'm telling you, that's how it's pronounced. Okay? I know you don't want to agree with me. It's pronounced Zaha.
Zacha, maybe.
It's Zaha. Would you like me to call this guy right now? Want me to get his number and call him?
That would be one of the more painful things that you could do right now. I just want him to say his name. I just want him to say his name correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, Harper, do I need to text your broad and tell her to send me these videos and email them to me?
Why's she got to be a broad? She's a businesswoman.
Okay.
I think you have them all.
No, I don't have all the newest ones. All I got is the first two.
Okay.
Let me just text her. Just say, hey, can you send those to me? That way I can put them online. I mean,
you know what he just said to you? He said, "I don't trust you. Let me just deal with her directly."
It's not what I said. It's not what I said.
He just said, "Your ass falls asleep. Let me just deal with the adult in it."
You should have.
That's nice.
You should have heard her when I was talking to her last week, and Harper's like, "Hey, let me let you talk to her." She's like, "How about you just give me your number, and I'm gonna send this stuff to you in your email, because we'll cut out the middleman." The middleman she was talking about was Harper. When she was sending the videos.
She's a keeper, dude. You better fucking really circle that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. On that note, where are we at? What are we doing here? We're about to get out of here, right? It's getting late.
Yeah. It's 10:30.
10:30. That's late for Doc and I, Harper. I know not for you, no kids and all that, but for Doc and I, it's kind of late. You know?
I'm on vacation. I don't give a shit, but whatever.
Well, not me. Well, I don't have that problem, but I got to get up early because, kids got school and stuff, so there's that. All right. On that note, anything else, Doc?
Can we please just get to Harper?
Harper, anything from you?
No.
Hit the tagline.
Book it, bitch.